Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening, and depending on where you live, I pulled a muscle in my neck at bar this morning. It's really driving me crazy. What did I even title this? I don't remember. I have so many thoughts going through my head that I want to share with you. And normally, this is something I would go into my team page and talk to my team about, but I really felt compelled to share this with all of my friends, my whole network. If you are joining me for the first time, I'm Lori Landsberg, and I am a beauty guide with Lime Life by Alcone. And I'm the leader of Team Serendipity, and I see a couple of my team members on right now. Hey, you guys. And I consider myself an empowerment leader because what my job is about is empowering women to believe in themselves and to dig deep inside, to get rid of the fears that they have, to be the best version of themselves they can possibly be. And I'm a huge believer in manifesting your future. And I believe so strongly in that. And I have found this really incredible book that I want to just read a little excerpt from. Hey, Sherry! It's the Motivation Manifesto. And it gives some very powerful things for you to think about. And I just want to read this little excerpt. So this morning, I posted a quote from John F. Kennedy that I think is so stinking true in our society. Oh, I love you, Sherry. Thank you. The quote is, "Conformity," and who can relate to that? Conformity is the jailer of freedom, or depending on where you live, the jailer of freedom. That's the Louisiana coming out of me, and the enemy of growth. Just let that sink in for just a minute. How many of you can relate to that? And I'm pretty sure every single person watching this or listening to this can relate to that. Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Because the truth is, we all grow up in a world where as kids we've got all these big dreams and we want all these things for ourselves, but then as you get into the high school times, you start getting a little serious about life and you start being told that, this is your career path and you have to do this, and this is what is expected, and this is what everybody does, and everybody goes to college and everybody gets a degree and everyone gets out and gets a job in the field that they majored in, and this is what you're supposed to do, and you're supposed to get married, and you're supposed to have your little boy and your little girl and have this white picket fence. And you know what? That's baloney. That is just baloney. We're setting people up for failure already at the beginning before they're even adults. And it just drives me crazy because there's not a one size fits all for everyone, right? Everyone is so different and everyone might have a different path. And yeah, maybe college is a thing for some people. Maybe it's not meant for others. And so I think that it's really important to teach our kids that you have to also go with your heart as well. And this book that I want to just read a little excerpt from just really hit me, and I wanted to share it with everybody. Yep. Yes, Sherry. Okay, are you ready? So I want you to think about this as I'm reading it because I think it's just something really good for you to think about. It's the Declaration of Personal Power. There comes a time in the lives of those destined for greatness when we must stand before the mirror of meaning and ask, why, having been endowed with the courageous heart of a lion, do we live as mice? We must look squarely into our own tired eyes and examine why we waste so much time sniffing at every distraction, why we cower at the thought of revealing our true selves to the world, why we scurry so quickly from conflict, and why we consent to play small. We must ask why we participate so humbly in society's frantic race, allowing ourselves into its mazes of mediocrity and settling for scraps of reward when nature has offered unlimited freedom, power, and abundance to the bold, the determined, the creative, the independent, to each of us. We must ask ourselves if our desires to feel safe and accepted are in fact enslaving us to popular opinion and to boredom, we must ask, when will we be ready to ascend to another level of existence? Can you relate to that? I think it pretty much describes every single person on the planet. And it really saddens me because I'm telling you, there are so many different fields out there. There are so many different industries that people can go into, and they get scared away from it because they're told this is not the path, this is not the way you do it. How many parents, and a lot of it I believe is parents are fearful for their kids because they want their kids, they want them to walk that straight and narrow. This is a safer path. We always choose a safer path, right? And it isn't always what people think is best for you, isn't always what's best for you. And a lot of it is something you have to look inside your heart and you have to determine what is right for you. And so when I hear people put down industries like direct sales, I believe a lot of it is because of fear. I believe that a lot of it is just because of not being educated. And that's just got to change. It just has to change. It's just so important that if you think something is good for you, you cannot worry about what other people think. You have to take that and shut that out because nobody's living your life for you. Nobody. Think of the dreams that you had as kids. Think of the things that you're passionate about. It's so important. It's so much more important to be passionate about what you do in your life than what someone else thinks you should be doing. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You take passion and for something that you really want to do and you fuel it with passion, you will be successful. You can't help but be successful. You have to take risks sometimes. And if somebody doesn't agree with you, that's okay. If you have the passion for it, you go for it. Life is too short. It's too short. Be happy. Choose happiness. And I believe that if you manifest your future, my doorbell just rang. If you manifest, hang on. I gotta shut my door. I have a feeling that's one of my Lime Life deliveries. And now I'm completely off track. Right. It's all about you have to stop worrying so much about what people think. Because not everybody's born with a vision. Not everyone can see what you can see. And if you see that you have an opportunity with a company and following your heart with something, don't worry about what other people think. Go with your gut instinct. It's so important. You're going to be so much happier because one of the worst things that you can do is regret a decision because somebody else allowed somebody else to steer you in a different direction when you knew what was best for you. The Declaration of Personal Power. This is from the Motivation Manifesto. This is an incredible book. It has so many little nuggets of wisdom in it, and it's something that I think everybody should read. You cannot grow if you don't self-develop. If you don't develop yourself on a daily basis, how can you possibly grow? How can you possibly be a different person a year from now if you continue doing the same thing? You can't. So it's important that you invest in yourself the time to develop, to self-develop, to grow as a person. It's so important. Right. A lot of people aren't gifted with vision. So don't allow them to derail you on your dreams. That's not fair. It's not fair to you. And a year from now, if you're going to look back and go, they're in the same place, I'm in the same place, what was I thinking? Just go for it. It's so important. I'm going to come on here and I'm going to read to you guys some of them and the things that really hit me the most. But it's absolutely a real thing. Hey, Crystal, it's absolutely a real thing. And it's an amazing book by Brendan Burchard, 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 And it's a fabulous book. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and share that with you guys and tell you that conforming is boring. It's very boring, and it's not for you. And if you find something that you're passionate about, you just shut out those voices of everyone else and do what you know is best for you. I'm Lori Landsberg. I'll talk to you soon.